The village of Umuobi-Oma lay hidden in the heart of the southeastern Nigerian rainforest, a place where tradition and the supernatural intertwined seamlessly. The land was lush with towering palm trees swaying gently in the breeze, their leaves rustling like whispers in the quiet of the evening. The villagers lived simple lives, farming the rich soil, hunting in the dense forest, and gathering around evening fires to share stories passed down from their ancestors. The people of Umuobi-Oma were known for their deep connection to the land and the spirit that resided within it. The elders will often speak of Allah, the earth goddess, who blessed their crops, and Amadioha, the god of thunder, who protected them from evil. They believed that the forest surrounding their village, Oyaoji, was a sacred place, home to spirits both benevolent and malevolent. The villagers had a deep respect for the forest, entering it only when necessary, and always with offering to appease the spirits. Despite the village's idyllic appearance, a sense of unease had settled over Umuobi-Oma in recent years. The once lively marketplace, where traders from distant lands would come to sell their wares, had grown quieter. The laughter of children playing in the field had faded, replaced by whispers of fear and uncertainty. The villagers avoided talking about it openly, but everyone knew that something had changed in Umuobi-Oma, something dark that they could not quite name. In the heart of Umuobi-Oma lived Nneoma, a woman whose name once carried the weight of respect and admiration. Nneoma had been born into a lineage of powerful women, warriors, priestesses, and queens, who had all served as the backbone of the village. From a young age, she had been taught the ways of her ancestors, learning the ancient ritual, the secrets of the land, and the responsibility that comes with being a leader. As a child, Nneoma would often accompany her grandmother, Nwanyosha, to the village shrine. There, she learned how to communicate with the spirit, offering sacrifices of kola nuts, yam, and palm wine. Nwanyosha would tell her stories of their ancestors, of great battles fought and won, of wise decisions that had saved their people, and of the deep connection they had with the land and the spirits. "You are destined for greatness, Nneoma," Nwanyosha would say, her voice filled with pride. "You carry the strength of our ancestors in your blood. One day, you will lead our people, and they will look up to you for guidance." As she grew older, Nneoma's beauty becomes the talk of the village. Her skin was the color of the rich earth, her eyes as deep as the forest at night. But it was her strength and wisdom that truly set her apart. She was a fierce protector of her people, always standing up for what was right, even when it meant going against tradition. Her bravery earned her the admiration of many, but it also made her a target for those who feared change. Despite the challenges she faced, Nneoma found happiness in her marriage to Obinna, a warrior from a neighboring village. Their union had been blessed by the village elders, and their love was the stuff of legend. Obinna was a strong and kind man, known for his skills in battle and his deep loyalty to his people. Together, they made a formidable pair, their love and partnership a beacon of hope in uncertain time. But their happiness was not meant to last. One fateful day, as Nneoma and Obinna returned from a visit to a nearby village, they encountered a mysterious figure in the forest. This figure was shrouded in darkness, its face hidden beneath a hood. It spoke in a voice that sent chill down their spine, a voice that seemed to echo from the very depths of the forest. "Turn back, Nneoma, for you do not know the danger you face," the figure warned. Nneoma, ever the fearless leader, refused to be cowed by the stranger word.
"Who are you to tell me where I may go? I am Nneoma, daughter of Umuobi-Oma, and I fear no man, living or dead."
The figure laughed, a sound that was both haunting and sorrowful. "You do not understand the power you have awakened. You will soon learn that some things are best left undisturbed." With that, the figure vanished, leaving Nneoma and Obinna shaken but determined to continue their journey. Little did they know that this encounter would mark the beginning of a nightmare that would consume their lives. When they returned to Umuobi-Oma, Nneoma began to experience strange and terrifying dreams. In her sleep, she would see the forest, dark and twisted, its trees reaching out to her like claws. She would hear whispers, voices that spoke of forgotten memories and lost love. Each morning, she would wake with a sense of dread, her heart pounding, her mind filled with images she could not understand. It wasn't long before the dreams began to seep into her working life. Nneoma started to forget things, small details at first, like the names of distant relatives or the location of her favorite cooking pot. But as the time went on, the forgetfulness grew worse. She would find herself wandering the village, unsure of where she was or how she had gotten there. The villagers noticed the change in her, their once beloved leader, now a shadow of her former self. Obinna was beside himself with worry. He sought the help of the village's most powerful Dibia, but even they could not explain what was happening to Nneoma. The cause that had taken hold of her was beyond their understanding. Its origin, hidden deep within the dark recesses of Oyaoji. Desperate, Obinna vowed to stay by Nneoma's side, to care for her and protect her, even as her mind continued to slip away. Each morning, he would greet her with a smile, reminding her of who he was, of their life together. But no matter how many times he told her the story of their love, it was always new to her, the memories slipping away as quickly as they were formed. The villagers, once so full of hope and admiration for Nneoma, began to avoid her. Their eyes filled with pity and fear. They whispered among themselves, wondering what had happened to their queen, what dark forces had claimed her mind. The elders, who had once looked to Nneoma for guidance, now turned away, their silence heavy with unspoken truths. One night, as Nneoma lay in bed, staring up at the thatched ceiling of their hut, she heard the voice. It was soft at first, barely more than a whisper, but it grew louder, more insistent. Sheta Nneoma, remember who you are, the voice urged. Nneoma sat up, her heart pounding in her chest. The room was dark, the only light coming from the flickering flame of the dying fire. She looked around, but there was no one there, and yet the voice persisted, calling to her, urging her to remember.
Who are you? Why are you tormenting me?
But there was no answer, only the sound of the wind rustling through the trees outside, the leaves whispering secrets that Nneoma could not understand. She lay back down, her mind racing, the voice echoing in her ears, the figure from the forest, the dreams, the forgetfulness. It was all connected. She was sure of it, but how and why? As sleep finally claimed her, Nneoma made a silent vow. She would find the answers to these questions, no matter the cost. She would uncover the truth behind the cause that had stolen her memories, and she would reclaim the life that had been taken from her. Little did she know that the journey ahead would test her in ways she would never have imagined, forcing her to confront not only the darkness within the forest, but the darkness within herself as well. The once vibrant village of Umuobi-Oma now lay under a heavy cloud of despair. The once bustling market, filled with the lively chatter of traders and villagers, had grown silent. The colorful stores, once overflowing with fresh yams, bananas, and vibrant fabrics, were now deserted, their goods languishing in the midday sun. The laughter of children playing in the field was replaced by the solemn whispers of adults discussing Nneoma's plight. The villagers watched with heavy hearts as Nneoma moved through her daily routine with a hollow gaze, her steps aimless and her actions mechanical. The sight of their former queen, so full of life and purpose, reduced to a shadow of her former self, was a source of deep sorrow for all. Even the once bustling communal gathering had dwindled, replaced by hushed conversations and worried glances. Obinna, now Nneoma's primary caregiver, had become a feature in the village square, often seen speaking with elders and traditional healers. His frustration and worry were palpable despite his unwavering love and dedication. He felt helpless against the unseen force that had taken his beloved wife from him. One morning, as the village woke to the soft light of dawn, a newcomer arrived at the edge of Umuobi-Oma. She was a striking figure, her presence immediately drawing the attention of the villagers. The woman was Ifeoma, a renowned healer from a distant land, known for her mystical ability and her deep knowledge of the spirit world. Her reputation had preceded her, and whispers of her arrival spread through the village like wildfire. Ifeoma was tall and gracious, her skin a rich, warm brown that seems to glow with an inner light. Her eyes, sharp and piercing, seemed to hold a depth of wisdom that transcended time. She wore a robe made from vibrant hand-woven fabrics, adorned with intricate patterns that told stories of ancient traditions and powerful magic. In her hand, she carried a small ornamentally carved wooden box and a staff topped with a shimmering crystals. As Ifeoma walked through the village, the people gathered around her, their faces a mixture of curiosity and hope. They had heard tales of her ability and her success in curing ailments that no other healer could, and they clung to the hope that she might be able to help Nneoma. When Ifeoma arrived at Nneoma's hut, she was greeted by Obinna, who led her inside with a mixture of hope and apprehension. The inside of the hut was dimly lit by the glow of a few candles, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Nneoma sat on the woven mat, her eyes distant and unfocused, lost in a world of her own.
Ifeoma, this is my wife, Nneoma. She has been afflicted by a terrible curse, and we are at a loss for how to help her.
I understand, Obinna. I have heard of your wife plight. Let me see if I can cover what ails her.
Ifeoma approached Nneoma with a calm and steady presence. She examined Nneoma carefully, her fingers moving gently over her skin as she muttered incantations in an ancient tongue. The room was filled with the faint aroma of herbs and incense as Ifeoma performed her ritual, her eyes closing in concentration. As she walked, Ifeoma's face grew more serious. She could sense the powerful cause that had taken hold of Nneoma, a cause that seemed to be rooted deeply in the very fabric of her being. It was unlike anything she had encountered before, a dark force that had twisted Nneoma's mind and erased her memory.
This curse is a lake area encounter. It is a powerful enchantment that has been cast upon Nneoma. It is not just a simple spell, but a complex and ancient magic designed to keep her trapped in a circle of forgetfulness.
Can you help her? Is there a way to break the curse?
Can't say a way, but it will not be easy. To break this curse, we must first uncover its origin. We need to understand who cast it and why. There is a powerful spirit, a malevolent force that may be behind this. And we need to perform a deeper ritual to reveal the truth.
That evening, Ifeoma prepared for the ritual, her movements deliberate and precise. She gathered herbs, crystals, and sacred items, arranging them in a circle around Nneoma's hut. The villagers watched in awe and apprehension, their hopes pinned on the healer's success. As night fell, Ifeoma began her ritual. She lit candles and incense. A chant rising into the darkness, the air grew thick with the scent of burning herbs, and the villagers could feel the tension building. Ifeoma's voice wove a tapestry of ancient words, calling upon the spirit for guidance and insight. Nneoma sat in the center of the circle, her eyes closed, her body relaxed but her mind restless. The ritual was meant to reach into the depths of her subconscious, to draw out the hidden memories and the cause that bound her.
So
The room was filled with an outwardly light, and for a moment, the shadow seemed to come alive, swearing around Nneoma like a living entity. Ifeoma's voice grew louder, more urgent, as she reached out to the spirits, pleading for their aid. Suddenly, Nneoma gasped. Her eyes snapped open. For a brief moment, her gaze was clear and focused, as if she had glimpsed something from her past. But the clarity was fleeting, and the shadow quickly closed in again, clouding her vision.
Nneoma, you must try to hold on to those glimpses. The memories are there, bearing deep. We must find a way to bring them to the surface.
I see flashes of a different place, a dark forest. There is a man, a voice I don't understand.
That is a start. The forest you speak of may hold the key to the course. It is important that you remember as much as you can.
After the ritual, Ifeoma and Obinna sat together, discussing their next steps. The ritual had revealed that the course was linked to a dark force residing in the depths of the forest, but it had not provided all the answers. They needed to dive deeper into the mystery of the forest to uncover the truth behind the course.
What must we do now?
We need to gather more information about the forest. There are ancient texts and artifacts that might provide clues. We must prepare ourselves for a journey into the heart of the darkness, where the course was likely cast.
Obinna nodded, his resolve strengthening. He knew that the path ahead would be perilous, but he was determined to help Nneoma, no matter the cost. The villagers, seeing Obinna's unwavering determinations and Ifeoma's dedication, began to feel a renewed sense of hope. As the night settled over Umuobi-Oma, the villagers gathered around their fires, discussing the events of the day. The arrival of Ifeoma had brought a glimmer of hope, a chance to uncover the truth and break the curse that had haunted their village for so long. But darkness was far from over. The forest held many secrets, and the path to freeing Nneoma would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. Little did they know that their journey was only beginning, and that the true test of their courage and resolve was yet to come. Nneoma lay on her bed, feeling the weight of her confusion and fear. The dark hut was quiet, except for the soft rustling of leaves outside and the occasional creak of the wooden beam. She tried to sleep, but her mind was restless, filled with the dreams she didn't understand. In her dream, Nneoma found herself standing in a misty forest. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches like gnarled figures reaching out to her. Their hair was cool and damp, and a soft, airy light glowed from somewhere deep in the forest. As she walked, she heard a faint whispering, like a distant voice calling her name.
Who is there? Show yourself.
The whispering grew louder, but the voice remained hidden. Nneoma felt both scared and curious. She followed the sound, hoping it might lead her to answers about the strange cause that had taken away her memories. Suddenly, she saw a shadowy figure standing in the distance. It was hard to see clearly, but it looked like a person, cloaked in darkness. The figure eyes shone faintly in the dim light, but Nneoma felt a shiver run down her spine.
Remember, Nneoma, remember who you are.
The figure's word echoed in her ear as she reached out to them. But before she could get any closer, the shadowy figure vanished, leaving Nneoma alone in the dark forest. She woke up with a start, her heart pounding and her head spinning with a strange dream. The next morning, Nneoma awoke with a sense of unease. She told Obinna about her dreams, hoping it might provide some clue. Obinna listened carefully, his face filled with concern.
It sounds like the dream might be trying to tell you something. Maybe it's a sign that we need to look deeper into the forest.
Nneoma nodded. But the dream left her feeling more confused than ever. She knew she needed to understand the forest better to break the curse. Later that day, a new visitor arrived at the edge of the village. It was an elderly man named Uche, known for his deep knowledge of village stories and legends. Uche was a storyteller, and his tales were famous for being both magical and mysterious. He had heard about Nneoma's plight and had come to offer his help.
I've heard about your troubles, Nneoma. I know many stories about the forest and the spirit that dwell there. Maybe my stories can help you understand what's happening.
I would like to know more. Perhaps your story can give us clue.
Uche settled down with Nneoma and Obinna by the fire. The villagers gathered around, eager to hear what the wise storyteller had to say. Uche began his tales, his voice smooth and calming, weaving words that painted vivid pictures in everyone's mind.
Long ago, before the land was settled, the forest of shadows was a place of great power. The forest was home to many spirits, some good and some not so kind. Among them was a powerful spirit named Oba, known for his ability to control the minds and memories of those who ventured too close.
The villagers listened with rapt attention, their eyes wide with wonder. Nneoma and Obinna leaned in, hanging on every word.
Oba was a griot, a storyteller who used magic to enchant and deceive. He would weave tales so captivating that the people would lose themselves in his stories, forgetting their past and becoming trapped in his world of darkness. Many who ventured into the forest seeking wisdom never returned, for Oba's magic was too strong.
Is it possible that Oba is the one behind my curse?
It is very likely. Oba's magic is old and powerful. He feeds on the memories of others, using them to strengthen his own dark power. If he is behind this curse, we must find a way to break his hold.
As Uche finished his story, Nneoma felt a mix of fear and determination. The idea of facing such a powerful spirit was daunting, but she knew she had to try. If Oba was the one who caused her, then the forest was the place where she needed to go to find answers.
We must prepare for a journey into the forest. We need to find out where Oba's power is strongest and how to break his curse. I will help you. There are ancient symbols and charms that can protect you from Oba's magic. We will need to gather these items and prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead.
Nneoma and Obinna, with Uche's guidance, began preparing for their journey. They gathered supplies, made protective charms, and learned about the symbols that would help them navigate the forest of shadows. The villagers, inspired by their bravery, offered their support and well wishes. As the sun set and the village settled into a quiet night, Nneoma lay in bed, feeling a mixture of hope and anxiety. She knew the journey would be dangerous, but she was determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The dream, the stories, and the support of her loved ones gave her the strength to move forward. The next morning, Nneoma, Obinna, and Uche prepared to leave for the forest of shadows. They were ready to face the unknown, driven by the hope of breaking the curse and reclaiming Nneoma's lost memories. The village watched them as they set off, their hearts filled with hope and worry. They knew that the journey ahead would be perilous, but they believed in the strength and courage of their queen. As Nneoma took her first step towards the forest, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, but with the support of her loved ones and the guidance of this wise storyteller, she was ready to uncover the truth and face the darkness that had held her captive for so long. The sun rose over the village, casting a golden glow over the land. Nneoma, Obinna, and Uche stood at the edge of the village, ready to embark on their journey into the forest of shadow. The villagers gathered to bid them farewell, their faces a mix of hope and worry.
Nban, take this charm with you. It is blessed by our ancestors. It will protect you from evil spirits.
Thank you. We will return with the answer we seek.
With a final wave and a deep breath, Nneoma and her companions stepped into the forest. The path quickly grew dark as they entered the shadowy realm of the forest of shadows. The tall trees loomed overhead, their twisted branches blocking out the sunlight. The air in the forest was thick and cool, filled with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. Strange sounds echoed around them, soft whispers, rustling leaves, and distant airy calls. The deeper they went, the more oppressive the atmosphere became.
This place feels different. It's as if the forest itself is alive. The forest of shadows has a way of playing tricks on the mind. Stay close and keep your wits about you.
We need to find out where Oba's power is strongest. Let's keep moving and stay alert.
As they walked, they came across a small clearing. In the center of the clearing was a stone altar, covered in strange symbols and carvings. Uche examined the symbol closely.
These are ancient runes used to protect against dark magic. They must have been placed here to keep intruders away.
What do they mean?
They are warnings. They tell us that the deeper we go, the more dangerous it becomes. We must be cautious.
As they continued, the forest grew denser. The trees seemed to close in around them, and the light grew dimmer. The path became twisted and confusing, with no clear directions. Nneoma had pounded as she struggled to keep her bearing. Just as they began to feel overwhelmed, they stumbled upon a small hut hidden among the trees. The hut was old and decrepit, its thatched roof barely holding together. A faint light flickered from within.
Should we check? It might be worth investigating. Sometimes the forest hides important clues.
They approached the hut cautiously. Nneoma pushed open the door, which creaked loudly. Inside, they found an elderly woman sitting by a fire. She looked up with surprised but kind eyes.
Welcome, travelers. I've been expecting you.
You have been expecting us? How do you know who we are?
The spirit of the forest have told me of your journey. I know you seek to break the curse placed upon you.
The elderly woman introduced herself as Omalisha, a guardian of the forest who had lived there for many years. She had a deep knowledge of the forest magic and offered to help Nneoma and her companions.
I can guide you through the forest and help you find the source of Oba's powers. But you must be prepared for what lies ahead. Forest is filled with illusion and traps.
We are ready. Please show us the way.
Very well. Follow me. I remember, trust your instincts. The forest will test you in ways you cannot imagine.
Omalisha led them through the forest, using her knowledge to navigate the twisting paths and avoid the traps set by Oba. She explained that the forest was a living being, constantly changing to protect Oba's domain.
The forest is alive with Oba's magic. It can create illusion that makes you doubt your own senses. Stay focused. I remember why you are here.
As they journeyed deeper, they encountered strange and frightening sights. Trees that seemed to move, shadows that danced on their own, and airy whispers that filled the air. Nneoma and her companions stayed close, relying on Omalisha's guidance to avoid falling victims to the forest tricks. Despite the challenges, there were moments of hope. They found sign of a path that had been used before. Footprints, old markings on the trees, and remnants of broken shams. This sign reassured them that they were on the right track. We must be getting closer. Let's keep going. We are making progress. Yes, you are. But remember, the hardest part of this journey is still ahead. Stay strong and stay together. As night fell, they made a camp in a small clearing. The forest around them was dark and silent, but they felt a sense of accomplishment for making it this far. They shared a simple meal, resting and preparing for the challenges that awaited them. As they sat around the fire, Nneoma felt a renewed sense of determination. The journey had been difficult, but they were getting closer to their goal. She knew that the final test would be the hardest, but with her friends and the guidance of Omalisha, She felt ready to face whatever lay ahead.
We will succeed. We have to. For the sake of my memory and the future of our land.
Yes, we are in this together. We will overcome any obstacles that come our way.
Rest well tonight. Tomorrow we'll continue our journey into the heart of the forest. The truth you seek is close, but remember, Owa's power is strong. Be prepared for anything.
As they settled for the night, Nneoma couldn't shake the feeling that the forest was watching them, waiting for their next move. She knew that their journey was far from over, but she was ready to face the darkness and uncover the truth. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.